Hello! Welcome to Talk Emma Learn English. Here, we learn English by talking, listening, and practicing together.
I'm Emma.
And I'm Jack, and we are genuinely happy to see you again.
Whether you're studying English seriously,
Or pretending to study while holding your phone,
we see you, we respect the effort.
at least you pressed play.
Exactly. And before we jump into today's topic, quick reminder, if this podcast helps you improve your English speaking naturally, follow it and share it with one friend who also wants to sound more fluent.
Learning alone is good.
Learning together is better.
Okay, today's topic is interesting.
Very interesting and slightly confusing.
We're talking about
Must.
and have to.
Two small expressions.
Huge confusion.
Why are they confusing?
Because in many situations, they mean almost the same thing.
Almost.
But not always.
And that not always is where English learners panic.
Exactly. Let's start simple. Are must and have to the same?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no.
Very helpful.
Thank you.
Okay, explain properly.
Both must and have to express obligation. That means something is necessary.
For example,
I must finish my work.
I have to finish my work.
Both sentences show that finishing the work is necessary.
So if both mean necessary, what's the difference?
The difference is emotional and situational.
Explain that slowly.
Must usually comes from inside you.
Have to usually comes from outside pressure.
Oh, yes.
So must is internal.
Yes, it's often your personal decision.
For example, I must start exercising.
No one forced you, it's your personal choice.
Your brain decided.
Exactly. Now listen to this. I have to start work at 9 a.m.
That's not your choice.
Correct. That's your company's rule.
So have to feels like external rules or laws.
Yes, very often.
Example 1. I must study tonight.
This means I personally believe it's necessary.
Self-pressure.
Yes.
Example 2. I have to study tonight.
Maybe there's a test tomorrow.
External reason.
Exactly.
Okay, but sometimes both feel the same.
Yes, in casual conversation, people often use them interchangeably.
So are we overthinking?
No, because in professional English, small differences matter.
Especially in exams.
And interviews. Another important point. Must often sounds stronger.
Stronger how?
More urgent, more serious.
For example, you must wear a seatbelt.
That sounds strict.
Like a rule.
Yes.
Now compare you have to wear a seatbelt.
Still necessary, but slightly softer.
Interesting. So tone matters too. Let's make it practical.
Yes. Situation 1. Doctor speaking to patient. You must stop smoking.
Very serious.
Because it's strong advice.
Now imagine government rule. You have to pay taxes.
That's law.
Exactly. Let's talk grammar.
Yes, because structure changes. Must is simple. Subject plus must plus base verb. I must go. She must finish. No change.
Always must.
Yes.
But have to changes.
I have to go. She has to go. They have to go.
So we conjugate have.
Exactly.
So this is where many learners make mistakes.
Yes, negative form is very different. Listen carefully. Must not, or mustn't, means prohibition. It means something is not allowed.
For example, you must not smoke here.
That means smoking is forbidden.
Exactly. But listen to this. You don't have to come tomorrow.
That means it's optional.
Yes, not necessary.
Huge difference.
Very big difference. Imagine your boss says, you don't have to stay late.
That means you are free to leave. But if your boss says you must not stay late,
You are not allowed to stay.
completely different meaning.
Wow, that's important.
Very important. Let's practice. I'll say a situation. You choose must or have to. Ready?
Ready.
You feel sick and decide to visit a doctor.
I must see a doctor.
Good. Personal decision. Now, the law says drivers wear helmets.
Drivers have to wear helmets.
Correct. See, you're improving already.
In daily conversation, which one is more common?
In daily conversation, have to is more common in American English.
And must?
Slightly more formal or serious.
So if I say to my friend, I must leave now,
It sounds dramatic.
like I'm in a movie,
Yes, many native speakers would say, I have to go.
more natural.
Let's summarize clearly. Must equals strong obligation, often internal, serious tone. Have to equals external obligation, rules, laws, common in daily speech.
Negative must not equals prohibited. Don't have to equals not necessary. That negative difference is the most important.
Yes, if you understand that, you're already ahead.
All right, now things get serious.
Yes, because in part 1, we covered the basics.
Internal versus external obligation.
Strong versus normal tone.
And the dangerous negative difference.
Exactly.
But now we're moving into the advanced zone.
Yes, because must is not only for obligation.
Oh yes.
Must also has another very powerful meaning.
Logical conclusion.
Exactly.
Okay, explain slowly.
When we use must to show logical conclusion, we are not talking about obligation. We are talking about deduction.
Meaning,
When you are almost sure something is true based on evidence. For example, the lights are off. They must be asleep.
so you're guessing but strongly.
Yes, it's a strong guess based on facts.
Another example.
You studied all night. You must be tired.
That's not a rule.
No, it's logical thinking.
Can I say you have to be tired?
No,
Why?
because have to is only for obligation, not for logical conclusion.
So this sentence is wrong. She has to be at home when guessing.
Yes, if you mean guessing. Correct version, she must be at home.
Ah, that's a big difference.
Very big. Let's act a small scene.
Okay.
You knock on someone's door, no answer.
The car is not there.
What do you say?
They must not be home.
Perfect.
Not don't have to.
Never.
Okay, now what about the past?
Yes, this is where many learners get confused. There is no past form of must for obligation.
Wait, what?
We don't say musted.
Obviously.
So for past obligation, we use had to.
Example.
I had to work late yesterday.
So yesterday equals had to.
Yes, you cannot say I must work late yesterday
That sounds wrong.
because must doesn't have a normal past form for obligation.
Wait, I've heard must have.
Yes, that's different. Must have plus past participle is for past deduction.
Explain with example.
You didn't answer my call. You must have been busy.
So I'm guessing about the past.
Exactly. Another example. The ground is wet. It must have rained.
That's logical conclusion about the past.
Perfect. Present obligation, I must finish. External rule, I have to finish. Past obligation, I had to finish. Present deduction, she must be tired. Past deduction, she must have been tired.
Now it's getting clear.
Yes, step by step.
What about questions?
Good question. We usually don't ask with must in normal conversation.
Really?
Yes, it sounds formal. Instead of asking, must I finish this today? Most people say, do I have to finish this today?
That sounds more natural.
Exactly.
Let's move to workplace situations.
Good idea. Situation 1. Company rule. Employees have to wear ID badges.
External rule.
Situation 2. You feel responsible.
I must improve my presentation skills.
Personal motivation. Situation 3. Your manager sees you tired.
You must be exhausted after that meeting.
Logical conclusion.
See how meaning changes?
Let's repeat this because it's dangerous. Listen carefully. You mustn't park here.
Prohibited.
You don't have to park here.
Optional.
If you confuse these two in real life, it could cause problems.
Big problems.
There is also emotional strength. If a mother says, "You must call me when you arrive,"
That sounds serious and caring.
if she says, "You have to call me when you arrive,"
Still serious.
but slightly less emotional.
Interesting.
Must sometimes carries emotional intensity. Let's test you. Situation. You see dark clouds.
It must rain soon.
Close. Correct grammar. It must rain is not natural. Better. It must rain soon is okay, but more natural. It must be going to rain.
Ah, yes.
Next situation. Yesterday you missed the bus.
I had to take a taxi.
Perfect. Next, teacher rule.
Students have to submit homework on time.
Excellent.
Why is this topic important for fluency?
Because modal verbs show confidence in speech. When you use must, have to, had to, and must have correctly, you sound natural and advanced.
It's not just grammar, it's control.
Exactly. Many English learners understand the rule, but when they start speaking, they panic. They freeze. Their brain suddenly becomes empty, and then they think, "Oh no, should I say must or have to? What if I say it wrong?" And that fear blocks fluency.
Yes, and that's why this final part is about automatic speaking, not overthinking, not memorizing rules again, but building instinct. Because real English is not spoken from grammar charts, it is spoken from habit.
So let's build that habit right now. Imagine this situation. You are talking to your friend. Your friend says, "I feel tired all the time." What would you say? You would probably say, "You must rest more," not "you have to rest more." Why? Because it's your strong personal advice. It comes from your heart.
Exactly. Now change the situation. Your friend says, "My company says I need to submit a medical certificate." Now you would say, "Oh, then you have to go to the doctor," because it's an external rule. The company requires it. Feel that difference. One is emotional, one is structural.
Good. Now let's go deeper. Sometimes learners use must everywhere because it feels simple. But native speakers don't overuse must. They often prefer have to in daily conversation because it sounds more natural and less dramatic. For example, I have to wake up at 6. Very natural. I must wake up at 6. Possible, but stronger, more serious, like a promise to yourself.
Yes, so tone matters. If you say, "I must stop eating junk food," it sounds like determination. But if you say, "I have to stop eating junk food," it sounds like maybe the doctor told you. Same action, different energy.
Now let's practice something powerful, logical deduction. This is where many learners forget that must has another meaning. For example, you didn't sleep last night, your eyes are red. I say, you must be exhausted. I'm not giving you obligation, I'm making a strong guess.
Yes, that is a different use completely. You must be joking. You must be hungry. It means I am almost sure. We don't use have to here. Wrong, you have to be tired. That sounds strange. So remember, logical conclusion belongs to must.
Now, let's clear one last confusion that can completely change meaning. Must not versus don't have to. Listen carefully. You mustn't park here. That means it is forbidden, maybe illegal. You don't have to park here. That means it is optional. You can park somewhere else if you want. One is prohibition, one is freedom. Huge difference.
This is why grammar matters. One small word can change everything. Now let's do a fast reaction practice. I'll say a situation. Emma will respond quickly. Don't think too much, just feel. Situation 1. Government rule.
You have to pay taxes.
Good. Situation 2. Strong personal advice.
You must drink more water.
Situation 3. It's forbidden.
You mustn't enter that room.
Situation 4, it's optional.
You don't have to come if you're busy.
Perfect. See? When you stop overthinking, it becomes natural.
And here's something important for confidence. If you make a mistake while speaking, it's okay. Communication is more important than perfection. If you say must instead of have to, people will still understand you 90% of the time.
Fluency grows from courage, not fear.
Yes, and remember something powerful. You must practice daily, but you don't have to practice for 3 hours. Even 10 focused minutes of speaking is enough if you are consistent. Small effort, big result.
And consistency creates confidence. The more you speak, the less you panic. The less you panic, the more natural your grammar becomes. It's a cycle.
Before we close, let's summarize in simple words. Use must when the feeling is strong and personal, when you are giving serious advice, when you are making a logical guess, when something is forbidden, must not. Use have to when the obligation comes from outside, when it's a rule, system, law, or requirement, when you need past or future forms. That's it. Clear, simple, practical.
And one final motivational thought. You must believe that you can improve your English. You have to take action to make it happen. Belief without action changes nothing. Action without belief feels heavy. Combine both.
If today's episode helped you understand this topic clearly, share it with one friend who is also learning English.
And follow Talk Emma, the English podcast, for more real-life grammar that actually makes sense.
Keep practicing, keep speaking, and remember, you mustn't give up and you have to keep going. See you in the next episode. Bye.